Hi-ho! Chris Eads, Wootini from kgamer.net, here with another weekly video podcast. I am still playing Disney Magical World. I continue to unlock more things. I just unlocked a Belle wig and a Belle gown so that I can dress up like Belle from Beauty and the Beast. I don't have the ingredients for it yet, so I can't, but it's nice to know that I can dress up as my favorite Disney princess and sparkle around town. Also, I unlocked a room. It's not a house, but you do eventually unlock a room that you can decorate with furniture to live in. But it's not a whole house, it's just a room. And I also feel like I've unlocked all the areas. I've unlocked Cinderella, Alice in Wonderland, Aladdin, and Winnie the Pooh. But I don't feel like there's other gates to unlock other Disney realms. But that could change. There's other things that I have unlocked where I said, oh, I didn't realize that was coming. But it's still weirdly addictive and fun. But strangely, it's addictive in that when I'm playing it, I don't want to stop because I just want to keep running around and collecting things and planting things and making things and doing things. Whereas once I put it down, it's not like Animal Crossing where there's the impetus to play it every day in order to maintain your town because every day things happen and you don't want to miss out. With Disney Magical World, I don't necessarily feel the urge to play it every day, but when I do start playing it, it's hard to put down because I'm addicted to trying to collect as much as possible. But it's, because I'm still trying to finish Professor Layton, although I am this close to the ending, I feel, so I think I'm on the last chapter at this point, so then I can devote more time to my Disney Magical World. Also, with Professor Layton, it's hurting me, but I'm actually leaving one of the puzzles I found unsolved. And as much as I don't like to leave one of the puzzles unsolved, it's one of those sliding tile puzzles, and I frickin' hate sliding tile puzzles. So this one, I'm like, you know what? F it. I don't need it. Let's finish the story. But the big thing that I did this past week was I finally did finish Fable III. I finally just pushed through to the end. Because as I said before, once you become king, the game takes a turn for the worse, because the enjoyable adventuring aspect, you suddenly become king, and then you have to, make these decisions, and you need to collect, you have to hoard lots of gold to build up your military against the encroaching evil that is coming to destroy you all. But in order to gain that gold, you have to do terrible things and be a horrible king, like your brother was. And I just found it really obnoxious that the game, because whenever I play these kinds of games with moral choices, I always end up being good and not evil. Sometimes I'll do something a little bit not so good, but I'm primarily good. So to suddenly get to a point in the game where it says, okay, but now if you want to be good and honor all of your promises that you've made throughout the game and do the good thing, everyone's going to die. And I just thought that was kind of shitty. I'm just like, what the hell? So, it got to the point, and also the things that it's asking you to choose between, it's like, do you want to build a waste treatment plant, or do you want to just dump the sewage on the neighboring village? And I'm like, neither. Can't we just live in sewage for a little bit longer? Because I don't want to destroy a village, and I don't want to spend the money on a waste treatment plant because that's money that we need for our defense. Unfortunately, you can only choose one of these two things. It's like, do you want to build an orphanage? Do you want to turn this building into an orphanage? Or do you want to turn it into a whorehouse? And I'm like, neither. Can we just let it sit and not waste the money? Or maybe turn it into some kind of, arms-producing plant? But rooms for soldiers, I don't know. The worst one, though, was when it was like, do you want to decorate your castle good or evil? And I mean, literally, that's what it says. Do you want good decorations or evil decorations? There's two interior decorators, and you have to choose between them. And I'm like, let's not redecorate the castle. But it didn't actually cost money to decorate the castle. It was just like one of those moral choices that you make to decide. And I'm like, oh, alright, well, if it's not going to cost money, then fine. Of course, obviously, I picked good. I kind of wish I'd picked evil, though, because when I picked good, like, nothing seemed to look different, so I don't really see what the point of that was. But, eventually I got to the end, and I knew that there wasn't much more time, because all the choices that kept coming up, it was either, do you want to do the good thing and honor your promise, or do you want to do this, like, really, really horrible thing that, like, is so morally reprehensible that you wouldn't really ever want to pick that? So I kept picking the good things, which of course kept eating away at the money, and we ended up, like, you know, millions of dollars in debt, and, like, millions of people were going to die, and I'm just like, well, whatever, I'll just deal with that, and everyone will die. Sorry, that's what you get for me being a nice king. Everyone dies. My bad. But what I ended up doing was cheating a little bit, because I left the game running without actually doing anything, because I had done everything I wanted to do. I was bored with the side quests and stuff, and I didn't feel like running around anymore, and I was just like, F it. So I just left it on while I did other things, and kept it from going to sleep periodically, and that way time would pass, and I would earn money from the businesses that I had been buying. And that way I could donate, you know, a few $100,000 into the coffers to, you know, get us back into the red, and then maybe save some people. But also I did find a bonus treasure that had 1,000,000 gold in it, so that threw me into the red nicely, so that helped. And then I said, okay, fine, I can at least save like 1.5 million people, we're good. And I did the end game, which was really kind of underwhelming, and the final battle was not particularly epic, and I was just like, it ended with a whimper, not a bang. And then at the end, they're like, you were a good king, and you saved some people, although lots of people died. And they just tell you that lots of people died, so there's really no emotional impact to this, and I'm just like, why did I even care? So now I kind of wish that I hadn't done all that extra and had just played through to the end, because I'm curious if everyone had died, if I would have gotten that same kind of ending, where they're like, lots of people died, but you were a good king and saved the kingdom. Like, it just felt kind of anticlimactic after all that drama over, you know, oh my god, you have to save the people and do terrible things to save the people, and what are you going to do? And then in the end it felt like it didn't really make any difference at all, and I would have seen the same end cutscene anyway. So I'm like, never mind. So that's that done. And then it's funny because I have downloaded a couple of other games for free that I've wanted to try, and but everyone with a PS4 that I know is now all into Infamous Second Son, and it reminded me that I never actually finished Infamous 2. So I pulled that off the shelf and stuck that back in my PS3, and I've been playing through that, and it's really enjoyable. I don't know why. I think something else came out that I really wanted to play, so I put it aside and played that instead, meaning to get back to it, but then I never did, because that's just the way I am. I put it back in, and it's fun. I mean, there's no compelling... the story isn't particularly compelling, but it's a lot of fun to play, so hopefully I'll get through it this time, and nothing will come and distract me from it. Because the April PlayStation Plus games don't look that good, so I should be alright. So, alright, that's it for now, and I will see you next week, and don't play Fable 3. Bye-bye.